Hi, I'm here today talking about Liquitex acrylic mediums. When painting, mediums are essentially materials that you can add to your acrylic color to change the way it behaves. Mediums are excellent for extending the possibilities of your Liquitex acrylic colors. They're fantastic for experimental and contemporary acrylic painting approaches as well. We have an entire range of wonderful mediums. I'm going to highlight a few for you here. This is one called Glass Beads. This is an example of our Glass Beads texture gel. It's with a transparent color, light and dark surface. Glass beads are essentially the acrylic polymer resin with tiny little bits of silicone in it to give that reflective property. This is a texture gel. This is another texture gel called Resin Sand. Same idea, but a different aggregate that gives kind of more of a rough, sandy feel to it. You can see that's done with palette knife stroke to really build the texture. Great for those unique contemporary techniques. This is a painting done on plexiglass with our glass beads again. Transparent color really highlights that unique acrylic feel. Pretty difficult to do with other media. I'd like to mix up some color with the pouring medium. So that's what I'll do. You can see that the pouring medium, when wet, is slightly milky. There's some water in there that when it evaporates, the film's going to be nice and clear, or it will clarify to the color that you add to it. Now, if I wasn't in a rush and didn't want to use it now, what I would do is I would mix this with some soft body color. Soft body acrylic color is excellent for partnering with the pouring medium, because they're similar in texture and consistency, kind of creamy, and they're both fluid. Use a brush handle, stir it up. But if I had some time, I'd be shaking this bottle. I'd set it aside, and then I'd allow about a day for all the bubbles to dissipate, because you will get some bubbling when you shake pouring medium. But I'm gently stirring it, so that's going to mix the color nicely. All right, let's set this aside. And I'm going to pick a color that I've already mixed up. Pouring medium is fantastic for doing something that's really unique in the world of acrylics. If you've ever played with other mediums and you've wanted a slick, glassy, enamel-like pool of color, you'll know if you haven't used the Liquitex acrylic pouring medium, that's pretty difficult to achieve. That is because traditional mediums will do something called crazing. What that means is all the water will evaporate in a hurry and leave a cracked kind of Arizona in the desert mud looking film. So pouring medium instead will dry. It will look virtually identical to this. Glossy. It will look wet when it's dry. Very fluid. You could pick it up. Do wet on wet techniques with the pouring medium. Do marbleizing effects. Just tons of things you can do with it. But what really makes it unique is the way it dries. It looks virtually identical to the way it was when it was in its wet state. I love working with it because it's so unique, and it really allows me to change up my entire acrylic palette just by adding the pouring medium. Now I'd like to mix with the Liquitex string gel. It comes in a screw top jar. I do think that's kind of significant. Our other gels are thicker in texture. Notice how loose this gel is. It's milky when wet. This milkiness will go away as the gel dries. Now you could either begin using the string gel while it's without color and it will be clear, or you could add some soft body color to it. You can even add heavy body color as well. I often like to use soft body. Take my palette knife and I'll mix it about. Do it gently to avoid bubbling, unless you're into bubbles and you want that. So I'll just take my palette knife. You could use the end of a brush. You could use a dowel rod. All sorts of things I would imagine to apply the string gel. But I like a palette knife. Notice the ribbon-like effect you get as the color lands on the canvas or the paper or whatever you're working on. You get nice calligraphic strokes. I find that if I raise it up, I get a different effect than when I hold it close to the canvas. It's one of those mediums that you could just play with and go for days with, because every time it's different. And to me, I would bet everybody's experience would be completely different, almost like handwriting. We've just looked at Liquitex texture gels, pouring medium, and string gel. Super fun mediums that really expand your painting possibilities with acrylics. Thank you for your interest in Liquitex acrylic materials. If you have any additional questions, feel free to go to our website, www.liquitex.com, and you can find additional info there, or it's also in our product literature.